If you are going through chemotherapy, you really need to hear this if you're planning for reconstruction after your mastectomy. When we think about timing for a mastectomy after chemotherapy, it's usually about 4 to 6 weeks after chemotherapy ends, and then we do our reconstruction. Why, you might ask? Because it's a short enough window where we're not letting the cancer hang out, we're getting it removed, but it's a long enough window to kind of let your body heal after chemotherapy. Chemotherapy knocks the winds out of your sails for even young, healthy women. And somehow we expect women just to, like, after 4 weeks, be ready to have this major surgery. It doesn't often work that way. But how do we know? The challenge is we often don't know who's going to do well after chemo and reconstruction and who's not. We don't have good labs to look at it. One lab I look at is albumin, which is a marker of your protein stores. The other is your absolute neutrophil count, or your ANC, and I want that number to be above 2 or so. That's because that's your body's ability to fight infection, which plummets during chemo. That's why people wear masks and are on precautions not to get ill during chemo. But apart from that, we just don't have good metrics. Now, I will tell you that if you talk to plastic surgeons, most of us have a spidey sense, where if someone walks into clinic and they're having chemo, maybe they're midway through chemo, I can look at them and I just know intrinsically in my soul, they are not going to heal after surgery. It's just the way they carry themselves. It's how they've aged in those several weeks during chemo. But I don't have a lab value to assign to that. I don't have a metric. So it's really hard for me to say to someone, hey, I don't think you're a good reconstructive candidate, and I don't know why, I just think that way. So what can we do to support your body's natural healing process? We need to support 2 different things if you've had chemo and are preparing for surgery. One is we have to give your body the building blocks to heal. So things like protein, targeted supplementation, all the things your body is going to rely on that you probably haven't been eating during chemo because your appetite's been down, but your body needs to heal. That's the first thing. The second thing we want to do is support your immune system. So we want to give your body the micronutrients it needs, once again, to heal after surgery, but also fight infection. So for me, some of those things are vitamin C, zinc, and other micronutrients that help your body fight infection. But it's challenging, and it's something that we really don't discuss with patients enough before surgery. We need to set expectations. You just had chemo, you're at an increased risk for complications. Decide, is it best to do a big surgery now, like a direct implant or a flap, or should we maybe wait a little bit if you've had a really rough time with chemo? And then 3, if you are having reconstruction, how can we support you through this process? As always, let me know your questions and thoughts below.